Good morning. I am in Tromsø, Norway, and I did encounter some racism. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I am yours truly, Nikah. And I have a goal this year of traveling to 6 new countries. And first stop, we have Norway. Let's see what it has to offer. So I've just landed in Tromsø, Norway, the furthest point north that they have a McDonald's. And after my 5-hour flight, I am bundling up to make sure that I can face the cold of what was at the time negative 15 degrees. And because Amazon got my order wrong, we hoodwinked it most of the trip. So let's see if I survive. So to leave the hotel, they have Ubers, taxis, as well as buses available. Tromsø is a little bit expensive, so I decided to take the bus to save some money. However, I ended up realizing that I was going in the wrong direction and I had to get off. And also, my SIMS card was not working. But luckily for me, I have experience reading a map from getting lost in Barcelona. So I just sat, waited for the bus, ate some snow for nostalgic purposes. And about 30 minutes or so later, I was able to get on the warm bus and head back towards the inner city to my hotel. So it took about 25 minutes to get from where I got lost at to the city center, which would have originally been about 15 minutes from the airport. Now I decided to stay in the city center because all of my excursions were having pickups or was walking distance from there, and I wanted to minimize my time being outside. And luckily for me, it was pretty easy to find once I got to the city center, especially since it's one of the tallest buildings in the city center. And it was only about a 4-minute walk from the bus stop. So I not only chose this hotel because it was in the city center, but they also offered free breakfast. And compared to the other prices that the hotels were offering, for them to also offer free breakfast, this was definitely the much better deal. And the staff was actually super nice. This lady's name was Andrea. She was super kind to me, in that she even gave me a hookup because I forgot my slippers, and she ended up giving me some free slippers. So a win is a win. A win is definitely a win. And here is my room, very small and compact. It has all of your traditional stay things. So it has a workstation, a mini fridge, and it also offered a ironing board and an iron, which was very helpful. The only thing I didn't like about the room was that the sink was very narrow. But outside of that, it was perfect for the amount of time that I was spending here. Now, before I called it a night, I did decide to visit this restaurant that Andrea, the front desk lady, recommended to me. She said it was also a museum, and come to find out, they actually talked about this at one of my excursions that I did the following day. And this is like a layout of the city center, the OG town square. And I ordered what they recommended, which was a fish soup. I thought it was going to be disgusting, but it was actually really good. For my first official full day, I started with breakfast from the hotel, which was actually very delicious. and made my way down a few hours afterwards to this food tour where we met at the center of the city. I always love doing a food tour because the tour guide gives us information about the history of the people, the history of the culture, and gives us all the best spots to eat, the local foods, and not just what the tourists are eating. And so we're back at this place, which is what I was explaining yesterday. Didn't know in the moment that this was a historical landmark when I went to go eat there. These are actually the first buildings in Tromsø which have stayed and remain, which was helping them during the trading times of the Viking days. And then just look at the view. The view in the Arctic, I will say they definitely have it. This is the sauna. So the tradition here is that when the winter is approaching, that you go sit in a sauna and then jump in the Arctic water. Supposedly, this helps get your body ready for the winter to withstand the cold. And it was recommended for me to do, but it was a hard pass because, yeah, I'm a Caribbean girl, and the only time I'm getting in the water is when I'm going to the beach. So this is our tour guide currently putting us on game as far as the best place to get fresh fish in the city of Tromsø, as well as the best place to get king crab. As the tour continued, she took us to this monumental mosaic that's on the side of a building near the city center. And apparently this currently 92-year-old woman made this, and she made it when she was 80 years old. So it's apparently very typical and traditional for people who are older of age to be very active in the city of Tromsø. After exploring the rest of the city and learning more about the culture, it was finally time to eat and learn more about the culture through the food. And I will say that Norwegian cuisine literally surprised me. A lot of it is not food that I would think to eat or pair together. And they also eat a lot of meat. Reason being that it's cold, so they can't grow any vegetables really. So I tried whale for the first time. I tried reindeer, and all of it was just splendid. And after I ate some reindeer, I went ahead and fed a little reindeer as well. I'm totally kidding. That is a statue. That is not a real reindeer. That would be sick. After a nice lunch, me and the friend that I made went by to look at the view again on the harbor. And this is me trying to catch a snowflake on my tongue, which is actually pretty hard. Quick weather update. The 5 layers are working as long as you keep moving. I'm also sure that the sun had something to do with it. Now, as far as for the nighttime during the Northern Light tour, they did give us thermal suits. And the Northern Lights tour is essentially like a scavenger hunt / camper's night. And you just sit on the beach and kind of wait for activity to come up. And them layers wasn't working, and that fire helped. But when the fire went out, I couldn't feel my toes and almost couldn't feel my fingers. So if you're going on a tour, I would definitely advise bringing some games to keep your mind off the cold and keep your body moving. Seeing the Northern Lights were actually really cool. This is what it looks like with your natural eye. So I'm recording with my Meta glasses. So this is without the enhancement or features or the lows on your phone. Now, when you put out your phone camera, the effects are completely different. Nonetheless, it is an amazing experience. I also got some very cute pictures. So shout out to my tour guide / photographer. Today the weather was negative 12 degrees because my extremities almost froze up the night before. We have an extra layer on my hands and feet. This is also my second time skiing in my life. My first time was last year in Colorado. And I learned that there are two different types of skiing. There is alpine skiing, which is when you ski downhill, which is what I did last year. And then there is cross-country skiing, which is what's happening here. The best way I could explain it is like hiking with skis on. And it was fun to like play around in the snow, but overall I will say that I don't think it's for me. It's just too much movement, but I definitely stayed warm. After that unexpected workout, I called it a night with a Norwegian dinner. And I will say that I don't think that reindeer is for me. It kind of has like a liver, weird aftertaste, but when in Rome.
Good morning. I am in Tromsø, Norway, and it's my last day here. And I just want to say Amazon got a lot of things wrong and I had to make it work. Right now is the last day and I'm wearing the least amount of layers because I'm going back to Barcelona. Ooh, Jesus, I almost fell. I'm going back to Barcelona, and when I travel, I dress for where I'm going. So I have like my thermal bodysuit on, a hoodie, and this. Oh, they can't see you. Yeah, the people here for the most part are nice. I did encounter some racism, just in the form of obviously not violence, but just ignoring me and like, no, sorry, I can't help you. And it was mostly like the older folk, but you know, they still kind of stuck in that way. But they're not from here because I was in a tourist area and a tourist thing. So, but yeah, let's look at the beauties. I'm about to have some king crab today. And actually, the food here, I'm not gonna lie, has been actually pretty lit. I thought it was gonna be nasty, but they kind of know what they're doing a little bit.
Overall, I'd rate my trip an 8 out of 10. The food was really good, the activities were fun, and the people that I got to meet were super dope. So if you're thinking about going to Norway, Tromsø's the place.